Hi, this is Annalisa, and in this video, I just wanted to share a very quick advice on immigration health surcharge. I get so many inquiries about this topic, and one of the main inquiries that I receive is this. They have calculated my immigration health surcharge that I need to pay. And this is usually when it happens when you are submitting from outside the United Kingdom. So if you are applying for your spouse, for even for yourself, yes, or even for your dependents who are joining you in the UK, the immigration health surcharge, when you come to that page, usually gets it wrong when they calculate the amount that you're supposed to pay. Sometimes it's quite too late to go back to the application because it's really connected. So you submit the application, and then after you've submitted that, you can't then return and change your answers. But when you get to the immigration health surcharge page, there's a question that says, are you joining another migrant in the UK? And it will ask about their details. It usually asks about their immigration health surcharge reference number. If you have that, then you need to include it, because then that will refer them to the details that they have on the system. And if it is working properly, they should then recalculate the amount of IHS that you need to pay. And sometimes if you don't do that, then it will be on the basis that you will be staying in the UK, let's say for 2.5 years, which currently of recording this video will be £1,000 that you need to pay for IHS. Now, if you're applying from outside the United Kingdom, it's not really £1,000 that will be deducted from your account, because they then convert that amount of money into US dollars or whichever currency that the system is attached to. So it's not exactly £1,000. It might be slightly more. It might be, I don't know, £50 more, or even £100 more. In fact, one of my clients had to pay a lot of money for the immigration health surcharge because they completely got it wrong. In fact, her visa was only for 1 year, and then she had to pay over like 3 years worth of immigration health surcharge for her daughter to join in the UK. So they do get it wrong. So in the event that you find that you're submitting an application and it is wrong, and you have no choice but either to pay it or redo another application. But when you redo another application, it does not guarantee you that when you get to the immigration health surcharge page, that you're going to then, they're going to calculate it correctly. There's still no guarantee. So you have two options. One is to either raise it with the immigration people, which even me as an immigration lawyer, I'm finding it hard to get answers or get help for technical things. So you're left with really one option. And especially if you're in a rush, you need to submit the application urgently, then the option is to pay whatever it's been calculated on the immigration health surcharge payment page. Now, when clearly it's wrong, make sure that you keep a record of that and then immediately write a letter of complaint to the Home Office saying, you have asked me to pay the wrong immigration health surcharge payment. Okay, and then you give them a lot of details. Like, for example, your dependent is joining you and your visa expires next year. It's only like valid for another year and a half, let's say. So the immigration health surcharge that needs to be paid should only be 400, should only be 600, right? Because 400 for every year. And then if it's 1.5 years that the Home Office will be issuing the visa for your dependent, then the immigration health surcharge should only be 600. But if you've been asked to pay £1,000, then you need to raise this to the immigration department, in the complaints department, and say, you have miscalculated the immigration health surcharge. Please send me the refund. Okay, this happened to my client several times. Okay, either sometimes they don't charge immigration health surcharge when clearly they do, and then when they look at the application, sometime like 10 weeks later, they then email us to say, oh, by the way, your client has not paid the immigration health surcharge, and so we then have to pay it. Or other times, like the example that I've just given to you earlier, a client who was sponsoring her daughter and her visa was only valid for 1 year, and yet she was asked to pay like a full 2.5 years visa. Then we had to write to the Home Office and say, look, this is wrong, please refund immediately, because it was a lot of money. It was even in dollars. But clearly they refunded it, but we had to follow it up. I think they say something like within 4 weeks they would refund, but it it took longer than that, but eventually she got refund. Okay, so that's the only choice. Those are the only options that you have. So so this is just to address that issue, because I get a lot of inquiries about this immigration health surcharge payment request, that's been correctly calculated by the by the home office software. It's a software that's wrong, and it's not quite correct yet. So it's something that they need to fix, but at the moment they're not fixed yet, and it's going to be quite complicated if they do introduce this exemption for healthcare workers. But for the time being, the only options that you have is either to pay it or to raise it, but then that will delay your application, or pay it and then complain to get the refund. I hope this video has been helpful. Please, if you find this really helpful, please click like and subscribe to our channel. Thanks for watching. Bye.